came in this morning. I flew into Abuja this morning. Israel had flown in yesterday to honor the invitation extended to him by the Nigerian police, the Force Criminal Intelligence and Investigation Department, pursuant to a petition filed by Apostle Suleiman, who is the founder of the Omega Fire Ministries. I came in with my clients, and I said we got in here past 10. If you look at the time, this is some minutes past 7. So cumulatively, we have spent over 7 hours, over 8 hours, 8 hours plus, just to respond to a petition over what I consider to be a very funny allegation made by Suleiman, because he had alleged that he commanded angels to send miracle alerts or miracle money to some persons in Abuja in Edo State, and of course Atlanta, Georgia in the United States. My client Israel came out, disavowed, debunked, and of course challenged the credibility and the veracity of those claims, which for us remains outlandish, remains false, irresponsible, and incapable of being proved. Clearly unsubstantiated. So we came here. It took even several hours for the police to take a statement. There were a lot of arguments, back and forth, altercations at some point, and instances where I felt these had gone beyond voluntary statement. This was about trying to force somebody to implicate himself. Of course, we refused to be intimidated. So that also led to a series of things that I may not want to say here. Now, after all said and done, we met with the ACP, Assistant Commissioner of Police, Abuja, who had signed the invitation letter. And he expressed his opinion about the case, which I disagree with, but I respect his opinion, because as I said, that is his opinion. Whether Israel has committed an offense or not will be for the court to determine. Interestingly, I also met the lawyer, a learned friend, who is the lawyer to Apostle Suleiman. He also came around today, and he engaged me in a conversation. I don't want to disclose the details. After we had finished all that marathon hours of discussion, I had expected that the police, given that Israel came voluntarily, will release him and ask him to come back, because he honored the invitation. If you are inviting somebody for purpose of interrogation, the moment you say you cannot go except you produce a shorty, what that implies in law is that you have converted the police invitation to arrest. The moment a suspect can no longer live at his own will, by his own volition, that is no longer within the realm of invitation. That is now an arrest. So the implication is that Israel Balogun has been arrested by the police. He's currently in their cell. He's not coming out, obviously, tonight because of what looks like very stringent and difficult bail conditions. They requested for 2 shorties. They said one has to be a level 14 civil servant who should present either his letter of last promotion or a letter of introduction. Of course, we brought a level 13 and we appealed to them, and they agreed to take the person. But somehow, because of the time, we couldn't get the original copy of his letter of last promotion. But we presented the photocopy, and even his ID card, he was willing to drop them, a federal civil servant. But they insisted again that he must also, in addition to letter of last promotion, present his ID card and also present letter of introduction, which are clearly outside the bail form that my clients fill. Again, there was also a requirement that there should be a second shorty who should be a business person and have either certificate of occupancy, C of O, or certificate of incorporation of a company. We brought a retired civil servant with certificate of occupancy. With even an original copy, the police refused to release Israel, insisting that he must produce a civil servant. What is the offense? They're talking about defamation. They're talking about alleged cyber stalking. I don't believe those are matters that should warrant such stringent conditions that are peculiar to capital offenses like murder, kidnapping, terrorism, and so on. So for me, this is just, again, an attempt by somebody who feels he has money, somebody who feels he has power, to press a Nigerian that he feels is vulnerable. But our message to Apostle Suleiman is clear and simple. We are not going to back down. We are not going to be intimidated. We are not going to allow you to put us in a situation that will make you continue to harass other citizens. So we will come back tomorrow hoping that the police will release him, hoping that those conditions